Yo, what's up, Hivers? It's pretty early. I haven't been doing the vlogs early in the morning lately. Been doing them late at night. Not even that late some days, but doing them ahead of time is what I'm trying to say. Just because I don't know, maybe I should go back to doing them in the morning. But anyway, this isn't even going on my main account at Gene Everett. This is just a quick drop in on the Gene and Ashley account. Last night I picked Ashley up from work and we were listening to an album. Hold on. My brain, I just chugged a coffee and I'm not feeling it yet. Oh, the Jesus and the Mary Chain. So we just figured, you know what? I looked and it came out in 1989. I said, I'm going to pick a couple tunes from 1989. Let's do an 80s Saturday post. I originally was just going to do it on my main account, but I figured, let's throw it up on the Gene and Ashley account. We love you guys. And I got to shout out the account that started dropping by almost all the time. He has Hive and Tube in the name. Really good, really cool people. Legit accounts. Some accounts look a little spammy that tend to comment on these posts because it's just accounts that don't have a big following, like the Gene and Ashley account. If I don't reblog it over at Gene Everett, it doesn't get a lot of attention. I hope some people listen to the songs and just don't comment, but I'm starting to think that's not really. It's probably not very true. I'm sure on the main post, 3 Tune Tuesday, 90s Friday, I have a big enough following at Gene Everett that I think that does happen, actually. I think there are a few accounts who just drop in and probably click like 3 or 4 songs. There's probably like 10 to 15 people that do that probably don't really do the vlog. But anyway, even though Ashley's asleep, I just didn't want to leave you guys, without at least a little vlog, just to say what's up. I just feel like just posting the songs with not a lot of text is just a little, I don't know. And then if some big account, upvotes it, it's like, okay, you posted a couple songs and barely said anything. That's another reason, I kind of said to Ashley, like, look, you're not really into being on video or on audio even. You like picking the songs, and, I told you, we're earning like $1 a day that we get to split. So you can look at it like you're putting 50 cents a day in savings. And she liked that. She's like, I guess that's kind of cool, yeah. And she actually took it pretty seriously. She would, take at least 10, 15, 20 minutes to throw on some songs early in the morning. We started doing it the day before so I could always post, early. But yeah, she would always like throw it on when she's making breakfast. I would, if it's 80s Saturday, maybe I'll pick the year, kind of give her a theme. And anyway, today we picked 1989. So I actually picked a band that I've grown to like a lot. I don't think they're the best band in the world, but they have 3 songs I really, really like. The band Big Drill Car. Trying to think if there's any interesting stories here. This vlog is really for like one account. The Hive Tuber. When did you join Hive? February 2025. Last seen 10 hours ago. So you're actually listening. I can tell by your comments. I see your last comment. Currently listening to Mr. Vane. It's just a good choice. That's on the Ashley's Art, her first post in a long time. She keeps saying she's going to post her artwork there. She hurt her hand at work. She's a manager at a store, but somebody called out and she actually had to do some pretty hefty manual labor, and she just was taking a couple weeks off of painting. But I wish she had the drive to post like every day on Hive, because she would have enough content to do it, or at least like once a week, do like a big post. Now I feel like it's harder to get noticed on Hive just because I think Hive has lost favor with some people. I gotta be, this is probably something I should post on the main account, but screw it. I'm just putting it here. It just seems like Hive's in a bit of a gully. It's not performing worse than the average crypto. It's moving exactly in line with the average crypto, which is just terrible. I was predicting all of 2024, guys. Alt season is not happening next year the way you think. It is not going to be like 2021. Ethereum, which hit 4,000 in March 2024, so it looked like there's no way it can't hit its 4,900 all-time high from 2021. That's only that's only like an 18% move. Actually, it probably got slightly above 4,000. Let's call it a 17% move. And now it's at 1,500 and change, while Bitcoin's at 83,000. Again, Bitcoin definitely lower than the 109K it topped at in December or January. But Ethereum was back at 4,000 in January. Now it's cut down by more than half in just 9 or 10 weeks. At least Bitcoin is down what did it bounce off of? 74? So it was still a few thousand above the all-time high from 2021. Bitcoin getting a boost yesterday. Anyway, this is really stuff I should be saving for the market vlog. But Bitcoin is 83,700. I hope more than one person listens to this. But since we're not going to be posting on this account much longer, I'm just going to keep talking. If it's interesting, keep listening. If it's not, totally cool. Just go check out the songs. And make sure you're following at Ashley's Art and at Gene Everett, because I think this will be the last post here for a while. Maybe when Ashley's in the mood to talk and actually do like a full vlog, maybe like once a month we'll just do a surprise post, and I'll make sure we reblog it from our solo accounts. But I just think at this point I'm just putting up the songs and we're not saying as much, and I am guaranteed a certain level of support if I reblog it on my account. But if we're not going to invest time into at least adding something original, I have fun posting the songs, but I don't think I want to post them and void the rewards. It was fun earning a little something because Ashley could check it once a month and see our HBD was up like 15. Well, at one point it was up like $33 a month. And then when the price came down, it was like 15 a month. It was kind of fun to just, save a couple quarters a day and know that we're splitting it. We ended up taking the 100 we earned in January, February, March, and I guess the first few days of April. So about 100, let's call it just under 100 days. We ended up taking 100 HBD out and moving it into Bitcoin, into our joint savings, which we do every other week. We buy Bitcoin. We've been going hard buying Bitcoin since 2022. Basically 80% of our savings we put into Bitcoin, and we really started going heavy in 2022, right at that cycle's bottom of like 15 to 20K. And we've been doing it ever since. So 2024, there was a lot of time. Now we're back at 84,000, but in 2024, we spent most of the time, a lot of the time around 60K. We moved down to 49K in August. And definitely a higher, it brought the average price up, especially buying, at the tops in December and January, above 80,000, 90,000. So the average buy price, has moved up, but we bought a lot. 2023, it was in like the 20s and 30s the whole year. So we adjusted what we're doing. And now when Bitcoin's above 80,000, we're buying like a third of what we were for the last 2 years and few months, or 2.5 years, and putting the rest in gold. This way we're buying more when it's lower, And look, if it just skyrockets and goes to 150,000 this fall, we have I think we have enough where we're like, okay, if we stop buying, we got a little nest egg, maybe about a Bitcoin each, and that's cool. You know, let's buy gold, and I always look at gold as a hedge against Bitcoin. A lot of Bitcoin maxis like just talk about how gold is just a rock from ancient history, and it's gonna be worthless in the future, which is so stupid. Just like I think the ultra gold bugs, who now I respect anybody who does not. I respect anybody who does not believe in Bitcoin if they've actually done the work and looked into it. But somebody like Peter Schiff, who's done debates. I mean, CNBC, he did a gold versus Bitcoin debate in 2017. And he's done like 30 cents on podcasts, and he never even looked into the basics. He doesn't know how it works. That's pathetic. That's a bad look. I hope somebody's still listening. But anyway, these songs are from 1989. So yeah, this Big Drill Car, my two songs are from their 1989 album, CD type thing. And the song No Need is one of my 3 favorite songs by them. It's just a rad tune. And hold on here. And then I picked the song In Green Fields from my bonus jam. Honestly, didn't really know it. I just listened to the record and picked a random tune. Dave Grohl actually met for the first time the current Foo Fighters drummer. The guy's name is escaping me for a moment. But, famous drummer. He's played on like literally 150 albums. Studio for hire drummer. Everybody wanted him for drums. He played on Good Charlotte, Puddle of Mud, like all these big mainstream acts. But in terms of being in bands, he was in the Vandals. He was toured with 9 Inch Nails. He's the guy with the blonde hair. He obviously, joined the band after Taylor Hawkins passed away. He did not play on the last Foo Fighter album. Dave Grohl played on that, and they added him after for touring. But he was in Devo for a while, just a legendary drummer. And ironically, they met at a Big Drill Car show in 1990 or early. It had to be 90 because Dave wasn't in Nirvana yet. And it was actually at that show that Dave talked to Kurt and Chris Novoselic. And then 2 weeks later, Kurt wanted him to join the band. So Big Drill Car, not a band that many people know, but definitely a band that, in a Forrest Gump kind of way, went in between some history. Ashley, and again, I apologize, the app I use to get the artwork and the song titles and the band name, because I just do it all digitally, the album cover was having, for some reason, it wasn't showing up, so I just have the band name and the song, and the album cover is blank. But you can see the actual album cover in the cover art up at the top where it says 80s Saturday in 1989. It's the Jesus and the Mary Chain album. It's a white album cover with a white star. A star with an image in the middle. So you can check that out. But where it has the songs, it's going to be blank. I don't know why. It's just buggy or something. Ashley picked the song Blues from a Gun and Head On from the 1989. Again, both of these records are 1989. From the 1989 album Automatic. And this was definitely like an alternative. This was, alternative rock really came up in the 80s. With bands like the Pixies, Jesus and the Mary Chain. Soundgarden was already on a major label that they released in 1989, their second album, Loud Love. And you'll see them on like the 1989 alternative mixes on Apple and all your streaming services. But I think a lot of stuff gets put in later that wasn't really famous yet, just because those bands got famous on the next record. I don't know how much radio play they were getting. I don't think they got much at all. I'm guessing some. I know I know they were on 120 Minutes on MTV, off their 89 record. But clearly not mainstream rock radio success yet. It was still Guns N' Roses and Poison and stuff like that leading rock radio. And that's about it. So yeah, this is the last post we're gonna do on the Gene and Ashley account for a while. Again, we'll probably surprise you like once a month or something when Ashley's free to actually sit down and be on the vlog with me. And maybe I'll do some Gene and Ashley, daily jams when I don't have a topic to do on my main account at Gene Everett. So make sure you're following us. And yeah, Hive, I feel like Hive is in a frustrating place, but I'll talk about that on my market vlog tonight over at Gene Everett. So you can check that out tonight or Sunday morning. And yeah, if you're still listening, actually, no joke, if you're still listening to this, if anybody is still listening, 16 minutes in, put a 33 at the end of your comment with no explanation. Don't say, hey, here's the 33. Just put it with no explanation at the end of your comment, and I'm going to give you three or four Hive basic income units if you're the first person to do it. You know what? The first person gets 3, and if there's a second and third, they each get 1. I'm guessing there's only going to be 1 or none. But yeah, do that. Put a 33 at the end of your comment. If you're the first person, you're going to get 3 Hive basic income units. And if anyone else follows, in a second and third spot, you get 1 each. And I highly doubt there'll be a 4th or 5th. I don't even think there'll be 1. But if there is 1, I might even just give you 4 or 5. Because I'll be so impressed you actually listen to the end of this. But yeah, we'll definitely do something. Just taking a little break from posting on multiple accounts because I just feel like Hive's in a weird spot. I just personally, I'm a little frustrated with even with some of the communities I'm a part of. I just feel like there's a lot of people that are just really, really trashing a lot of other Hivers for their political differences, and it's really disappointing to see such rage and contempt for people based on their political beliefs. And it's just, it's weird to me that Hive is mostly people that just have completely mainstream establishment views that have mostly been debunked and proven wrong, whether it's, the Ukraine war narrative, whether it's the jab, the vaccine mandates, whether it's, just literally sounding like CNN or MSNBC, on Donald Trump. And there's plenty to criticize about Donald Trump, in my opinion. But to only focus on the nonsense, mainstream talking points is just ridiculous. That's my opinion. And I just see a lot of Hivers. We're a decentralized blockchain. I know we're more than just a blog, a blog place now. I know there's, the tribe tokens and there's gamification projects that are a big part of Hive. But essentially, we're a decentralized blockchain. And if you don't have at least a good solid amount of people who are like libertarian and, kind of like the third, willing to talk third rail topics, if those people are generally, poo-pooed by most of the whales and kind of relegated to the information war deep dive sections of the blockchain, it just seems to me like it's not going to succeed. If you don't have a strong libertarian, freedom, anti-mainstream establishment, kind of vibe on a decentralized blockchain, what's the point? You know what I mean? All right, now the person definitely gets 5 Hive basic income units, whoever puts a 33 in their comment first. I love you guys. Later.